Hello Aquarius, Elsie here to do your reading. It is a weekly reading, Aquarius. Thank you so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. This week we are doing 3 hands. I haven't done 3 hands in a while, and this week we're going to be talking about career, finances, and love specifically. So one of these reads might appeal to you. Aquarius, thank you for coming back here. If you're my ride or die Aquarius and you're the loyal one that keeps coming back, thanks for doing that. If you're brand new, welcome. I hope you'll stay. And look, if I'm floating through your feed anyway, all up in your business, maybe you just want to hit subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate you. And if you want to know about private reads or how to find the extended at the end of this reading, I will be talking about that at the end. Let's first find out what's going on for you, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. Oh, yes, right. An Aquarius gave me this beautiful necklace over Christmas. It is a sun card, and I thought it was really beautiful because my boy child, is the sun. He is a Leo, which is kind of cool. She didn't know what it meant. But she and I've been asking for a breakthrough. So the sun is also a breakthrough, happiness. So it was really beautiful, really grateful, really thoughtful. Okay, let's find out what's going on for you, Aquarius. Career. Ooh, all right. Something here is change is afoot, I'm going to say, and it's going to be quick change. I feel like something is about to end. So something else can begin. I feel like this is something that you've been trying to navigate for a while. It feels like with the King of Pentacles energy that this is slow-moving energy, very strategic, very planned. It feels very practical. It feels like you're about to make a practical move. And I feel like you're going to be doing it quickly because the Knight of Wands is here and is taking some sort of a risk. It feels like it might be something that's emotional or fiery. It feels like the Judgment card being here tells me you're about to make a really big decision about moving forward past some sort of obstacle that you've been looking at in the future. I feel like the King of Pentacles is telling me you want to make more money. I want to make more money. I want more status. I want to start navigating my own life toward something that is tangible, is to be standing in the King of Pentacles energy. So it feels like this career move is going to be a big one. You can see that there is a mountain in the distance, and the King of Pentacles is very practical and also very knowledgeable and is going to be able to get around that obstacle. But listen, as you get closer to it, I think it turns into an achievement. Like the mountains in tarot can be obstacles or achievements. And I feel like, although this looks like an obstacle from a distance, it feels like it ends up being an achievement. We've got the Knight of Cups. I feel like you're being very strategic about how you're moving toward this. It feels like it starts out, I'm going to say maybe, how do I say starts out? I don't know what that means. It feels like it's a decision. I've got to end this. I don't really want to be here anymore. I don't want to do what I'm doing. I don't want to be in the business. Maybe I want to sell my businesses and start working for someone else or be independently wealthy. King of Pentacles is here. I don't know, but it feels like there is something here that you've been strategizing about, moving slowly. We've got the Knight of Cups, who is playing chess here, but it feels like you want to do something that makes your heart happy. So I feel like you're about to make a really big decision about your next adventure, I want to say. We do have the 3 of Swords. We have the Tower. If I move too quickly, is this going to cause a shift that I will lose control of? It feels like that is your biggest fear, I want to say, that if I move too quickly, things will begin to fall in and I will lose control of the whole situation, because the King of Pentacles is the one in control of their money, control of their mind. They move really slow. Somebody who's very logical and practical and wants to do things slowly because they want to do them once. It feels like your worry is that it feels like the 3 of Swords is giving me worried energy, that if I do lay something to rest and go on with something new, that the obstacles could be something that implodes this whole thing. I don't think it will, though. I'm just going to say, I think with the Ace of Pentacles here, I feel like you have already begun to grow what it is that you are headed toward. I feel like you already, what I mean by this, I feel like you already know what you're doing. I feel like you've already made a plan. Look, I've never met an Aquarius who didn't start thinking of something way before they did it, like 2 years before they did it. It feels like 2 Pentacles here tells me 2 years. It feels like you are making a plan and you're very cognizant of any obstacles that might be in the distance. I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is telling me that this is a solid offer. It feels like you're offering something solid or someone's offering something solid to you, but I think it's change that scares you because Taurus is here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Change is what scares you. You're a fixed sign as well. And so I feel like you're not necessarily a fan of the change. And I think that's what worries you. That if you do decide to change and invest in something new, if you do it too quickly, is it going to implode? Tell me about the King of Pentacles, please. We've got the Six of Cups. Okay, so it feels like what you're leaving, you've been there for a while. That you're planning on heading out here, but it feels like you've been there for a while, but I don't think you love it. I'm just going to say, it feels like the Six of Wands is here to say that brighter days are ahead, but you're going to have to make some sort of a big, bold move. You're going to have to be brave, and you're going to have to move forward here. We've got the Six of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Look, the Queen of Wands is the leader of the pack, right? This is a person who runs in fire. You might have a fire sign in your sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Jupiter. Especially if you have it in your Jupiter, that would be how your abundance falls in. And this is abundance. So I feel like you could be maybe a Jupiter, Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries possibly. I think that you've been at whatever you're doing, whether it's your business that you're running or whether you're working for somebody else, you've been at this for years, probably many years. And I feel like you've created a lot of memories there or nostalgia there, or I can't really see life without whatever it is that I'm doing now. I can't see life without that. And I think that's why this big obstacle is in the distance, because it almost feels like you can only see to a certain place, and then you're going to have to get around the obstacle before you can see how it's going to unfold. So I feel like your biggest fear here is the Tower, is that it's going to get all out of control if you decide to lay something to rest so you can birth yourself into a new chapter. And I think you're scared. You're protecting yourself. Think it worries you. Tell me about the Tower. We've got the Nine of Swords. Yeah, this is your biggest worry here. That if you decide to move, it gets all out of hand. You no longer have control of the moving parts, and that worries you. I'm going to say that, Aquarius, that you are disciplined. You are disciplined, and I feel that you are vibrationally balanced. I feel like you don't do anything unless you've thought out every single inch of the room. You don't build anything until you've measured twice and then you can cut once. I feel like the sun is telling me that you will realize at some point that you do have enough discipline or balance that there's really no need to worry that when the Tower falls, that the Knight of Wands is here, who is brave. That you've been through many towers before. This one is a controlled tower because I think that it is started by you. I don't think that it is something that you're going to have to sidestep or worry about falling debris, because I feel like you are the one that is causing the tower. So although the tower itself may feel out of control, you might feel like you're floating out there for a bit until you get around that obstacle or whatever obstacles you see in the future. But I feel like it's solid because I saw the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of your read, which is the foundation. So I feel like your foundation is solid, that you're very practical, you think things out, you're very analytic. I think it's going to work out fine. But the fact that for a bit you're going to feel sort of out of control of the future is what is scaring you, I think. And understand, I never met an Aquarius that was scared. But I think that it's uncertain. And that's what kind of freaks you out a little bit. Let's talk about your finances. Tell me about Aquarius and their finances, please. Tell me about Aquarius and their finances, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter signs. Tell me about Aquarius. I'm going to say you have the know-how, first of all. First and foremost, I feel that you are carrying probably some financial burdens. And look, when I say burdens, I don't think that they're burdens that are under control. We all carry financial burdens. A mortgage is not an asset. A mortgage is a financial burden. Until you pay it off, then it becomes an asset. And so I feel like you're carrying the regular kind of financial burdens that everyone else is carrying. But I think that the difference between you and what everyone else is carrying is that you're being honest with yourself as to where those financial caveats are. I'm going to say where the hills and valleys are. And I'm saying that because the moon energy is here. I feel that there is something here that feels uncertain. And I'm going to say that that thing that is feeling uncertain financially at this time is going to be healed. I feel like this moment of alchemy, I feel like there's something that is sort of going back and forth, back and forth. It feels like you don't have control over it right now, but I feel like the Temperance card is telling me you will. It will heal itself. It will come into balance. You will have control over it. But right now, everything seems like it's up in the air. It seems like a great big monster in the dark. And I feel it's some sort of a financial burden that you're carrying. Now, the thing is, the Queen of Swords is always the realist, right? The Queen of Swords is always the realist. It is the person who is being honest and truthful with themselves. And so I don't think that you're ignoring this. I feel like there is, with the moon energy, something that is unsure. It feels like, I'm going to say that things aren't as they seem. It may feel like a bigger, darker monster than it really is. I feel simply that the Ten of Wands and the moon is telling me it feels bigger than it is. But the Queen of Swords is somebody who's going to liberate themselves. So I'm going to say that by being honest and truthful about the debt that you have and how you're managing it, I feel like it all works out the way that it should. In fact, I feel like you will be able to release some of the worry of the uncertainty because the full moon is here. So we could be talking about the next full moon. If I'm not mistaken, I think there is an Aquarius full moon coming up at some time soon, but you might want to check with your nearest astrologer for that. All right, so I feel like things are coming into balance because like the Queen of Swords will always stand up and liberate themselves from a situation that's not working. I've got to be honest about this. I've got to be honest with you, got to be honest with myself, and I just need to put up a boundary in some places here in order for things to work out the way I want them to. But I feel like you're being really honest with yourself and your financial situation, which means that you're not ignoring it, because when you ignore it, we all know it falls in, right? We do have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Cups as well. So I feel like right now something is unclear or confusing about some sort of financial thing that is taking a long time to understand, give you clarity, or come into balance. It feels like something here might be out of balance, and it feels like it's taking a really long time for you to get the answers that you want. So for instance, maybe you've been working with a money manager, and the money manager is taking a while to get back to you, or the bank manager you've asked to reamortize your loan, and they're taking a long time to get back to you. I feel like there's an uncertainty right now, but I'm going to say that with the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like it's generally under control, because look, that's Virgo energy. And I feel like the energy of Virgo is telling me that you're building a good foundation. We've got 3 pentacles in the tree. You're grounding yourself. You're rooting yourself. You're really moving slow enough in your truth that I feel it's going to clear up any confusion or anything that is in this moon energy. I feel like something here feels bigger than it is because it feels like it's lurking under the surface. So there's something here that's uncertain because you don't know the outcome of it yet, because it's not yet reamortized. It's not yet, we haven't figured out what's going on with the debt. I don't really know what's going on. So it feels like it is out of control a little bit, but I don't think it's anything you have to worry about, because when the Knight of Pentacles is here, everything is going to be accounted for. And with the Queen of Swords being here, I'm going to liberate myself from the slow pace that all of this is going. So it feels like, let's look at the moon. See, because when we sort of look at what scares us, we look it in the eye. Sometimes it makes us feel a little bit better, right? Tell me about this. All right, so we have the Ten of Cups. Yeah, see, there it is. The Ten of Cups, the Four of Wands. It does tell me that possibly the debt that you have is not a debt that you really need to worry about. It does feel like it is something that you've been holding back on, or maybe that you've held back a payment of some sort until things or get back on their feet. It feels like it has something to do with the house, the home, the family. Maybe you're trying to buy a new house. Maybe you're waiting on a mortgage to be approved. Maybe you're waiting on the sale of a home so you could buy a new one. I think it works out great, though. I think it works out better than you think it is. The moon energy is always going to give us a little bit of weird sort of, I don't really know, it's uncertain energy, but I think that the Ten of Cups is hiding in the moon energy. It feels like it does have to do with a large property or something that you own. Yeah, look at this. Look. Everything's working out the way it should. Things are going to change. Destiny shows up and everything expands. And I feel like it goes back to zero. It goes back to the beginning. You get what you need. You get the good news that you want. It feels like some sort of good news is showing up so you can begin to carry on with building your foundation. Three of Pentacles. So I feel like there's a moment in time where it feels a little fearful. I don't think you need to be fearful. I think it works itself out to a place of the Ten of Cups. Your family will be fine. You will have some joy and some happiness, but it's just this uncertain time that is holding you hostage in the mind, I feel. All right, let's find out what's going on in love. At the end of this, we're going to do an extended on the love reading. So if you want to join us for that in the extended, you can do that. I'll tell you about that after I'm done here. Let's talk about love for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. What do we need to know about love? I feel like you've been hiding and healing. That's what it feels like. You've been hiding and healing. I feel like you're going through some type of dark spot at this time. I'm going to say that you can't see the sun. You can't see the positivity. You can't see the breakthrough because right now you're very focused on what you've lost rather than focused on what could go right. You're focused on what has gone wrong. It feels like something that you've lost the happiness, I want to say. The Five of Cups tells me you're a little bit sad. Sad about something that has run its course. It's water under the bridge, friend. It feels like with these three cups that have poured out here, it feels like this used to be happy. I'm not happy about it anymore, or something has come to an end. It does feel like we no longer have get-togethers. It could be a group of people. It does feel like it could be a group or an individual. Because when I talk about love, it's not always just one-on-one love, right? But we have the Five of Cups. I feel like there's something here that's making you sad. And Aquarius, anybody out there who knows an Aquarius knows that Aquarius needs their alone time when things aren't going right. That you're going to be absolutely, completely quiet. So I feel like right now somebody here is trying to find their way around in the dark. You might be going through a dark night of the soul. In terms of love, it feels like you feel a little bit lonely. You feel lonely, but I feel like you still have to heal from whatever it is that ended or made you sad. This is no fun anymore. I feel like you're in the Hermit energy. We've got Judgment here. So I feel like things are about to come back into balance, but you're going to have to agree to end something so you can begin something new. Judgment and the Sun for me is an awakening. So you could be going through dark night of the soul. Hermit is that. But also understand that the Hermit is the place where we go when we are licking our wounds. Something went wrong and it feels like you got hurt in some way, and you're not necessarily going to say that on the surface. You're just going to go into hiding. And so it feels like this Judgment energy is something that is going to resurrect you from the dead. I'm going to say that if your feelings have been dead or you feel like you've been in the dark, I feel like Judgment is here to say, look, turn around. Turn around, bright eyes. What is that? Every now and then you fall apart. I think I'm supposed to tell you that. Turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then you fall apart. And it's okay. Every now and then we fall apart. And I feel like you're trying to do it alone where nobody can see you. Tell me more about love for Aquarius. We've got the Ace of Cups. We've got the King of Pentacles. And we've got the Hierophant here. We've got the Hanged Man. So I feel like you're going to come into the future, because the bottom of the deck is the future to me. It feels like in the future you will have perspective as to why this went down, why this all went down the way it did. It does feel like when you get out of the dark night of the soul, your heart will repair itself. I think that you will feel like you're ready for something new. but something slow and something grounded. I feel as though your heart repairs to a point that you feel like you're ready again to socialize, to go out, to grow again. And it does feel like with the Hierophant energy that you're very serious about love. I'm going to say that it feels like you're looking for, I don't think you're into the dating thing. So I don't know, Aquarius, if you are necessarily into dating this one, that one, and the other one to find out, what flavor you like. But I feel like here it tells me that you're very traditional. Whatever that means to you. Could be traditional religion, could be traditional roles, man and woman, feminine, masculine. It could be traditional something or other. It could be commitment. It feels like you want a solid commitment that you can count on, that is moving slowly, that you can depend on, and somebody who is grown, somebody who already has their own stability, somebody who can offer something solid to you. I think that's what would make you happy. And so I feel like this is coming, to be honest. I feel like this is coming, but you need to get out of this energy first. And I think it's going to take some time to get out of the Hermit and the Hanged Man energy. The Hermit energy is you finding your way in the dark, right? Finding your light. Maybe you are going through an awakening of sorts. The Hanged Man can be that. It does feel like it's time to listen to your intuition. You need to get some balance and a perspective about what you really want and then go after that. It feels like it's going to be one and done for you when you find it. That it's like you will not date this person, but you will get to know somebody on a very slow and ongoing basis until which time you have an awakening or a breakthrough that this person is the one. Tell me about this Five of Cups. Because I think this is where you are right now. I think you're in the Five of Cups, and I think you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be out of this dark place. It feels like I'm never going to be out of this dark place, and I don't see the sun anywhere. So I feel like there was probably something that you were in, a relationship of sorts, that you are no longer in, but it feels like it went by really quickly or happened really quickly, or maybe it ended up jumping into passion really quick, and that's why it didn't work. Fire burns out. It feels like this water put out the fire. And I think that you're deeper than that because the Ace of Cups is here. We have the Wheel of Fortune. I think that you really thought that this was your destiny, but it went by really quickly here. We have the Moon. So now you're worried, right? There's a worried sort of energy of what's lurking in the dark. I feel like you need to first turn toward the sun. I'm going to say I think that you need to turn toward the sun in order to figure out what's going on. In order to see this, you got to stop looking at what you've lost. You got to get out of the dark. And I don't mean get out of the dark right now. I mean go through the whole dark night of the soul thing. It feels like you're really deeply thinking about what you want for the future and how you're going to get what it is that you want. I feel like something really happy is showing up for you here. It feels like there is a reckoning, I'm going to say, going on with the Five of Wands. It feels like the inner battle of sort of observing the future and figuring out what I want. The Page of Swords is looking at the sun. So I feel like eventually you're going to look at the sun, see the breakthrough, see that there is still another way to find your happiness. If you are looking for a person, I feel like there is somebody here who's stable and secure, possibly another fixed sign, but could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. We have Taurus here. It feels like you're a little bit inflexible. I'm just going to say that you want what you want, and what you want is for someone to come to your path and follow you. And that tells me that you're probably masculine, that you're probably a masculine leaning energy, or you're the leader. And I don't say that in a way that is women and men lead. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you're the leader, that you have, when you come out of this dark night of the soul, you're going to be the person who is the spiritual teacher. You're the person who has the knowledge, listens to the higher self, knows the right way and does the right thing. And I feel like you want someone to follow you in that, to hold you up in that. I think you will give somebody your whole heart, but it's got to be the right person. You're not necessarily a dater. You're a person who's looking for someone who can measure up and be as sort of stuck to their convictions as you are. I'm going to go into the extended. If you'd like to be there, we're going to talk about the sun, because something happy is coming up for you. I feel like you are about to meet someone else, and I feel like there is going to be a commitment between you, or it's going to end up very serious but slow moving. Let's talk about that. If you want to go to the extended, then please look at the pinned comment that is at the top of all the comments. There you will find a link to the membership, which is where all the extendeds are. If you want at least 4 in a month, you will go to the membership. If you want to purchase this one only, then you can purchase this one. There is a link in the pinned comment. Also, I am offering private reads. They begin at $25 and go up from there. $25 reads generally come out in 2 to 3 days. So if you are interested in that, please drop me a line from Hypsee. Please click on the Hypsee link and book there. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go, but I'll be back because I'm always back. Take care, Aquarius. Thank you. Bye-bye.